All right, so we're back in my favorite studio in Vegas, the Sirius XM Studio at the Wynn Casino. John, I dragged you all the way out to Vegas for the Steve Aoki Foundation. You've been in network marketing forever, since the beginning of time.
Pretty much.
What does this do for companies coming to an event like this where they get in the right room with the right people at the right time?
You know, the hardest thing in business, whether it's network marketing or you're selling insurance, real estate, cars, whatever, is being with the right people at the right time, being in front of an audience that can A, buy your product, B, has an interest in buying your product, and C, has an interest in knowing you. So being at an event like the Aoki Foundation that we're at tonight, and meeting not only celebrities, okay, but normal people, business people.
What I like to call high-value individuals.
Exactly. High-valued individuals that you can have engagement with going forward. And we just finished with one. We just finished an interview with a great guy with a great growing
Shout
company.
out to Todd Shipman.
Todd Shipman from Lila Q. I mean, amazing interview. Friday, we did an amazing interview with the great Brian Carruthers.
Yeah.
Top earner over at Legal Shield. And we do interviews. You and I do interviews every day with a variety of people. But to be at an event where you can rub elbows, okay, not with celebrity to go home and brag, hey, I met so-and-so, big deal. They're not going to remember you, okay? But they might remember your brand, most importantly, because
tonight they're going to remember the brand because they're going home with a bag full of goodies.
That's where I was going, okay? And to be able to say to somebody, whether they're a celebrity, an athlete, a business person, or just a normal
or just
person
a really
like
good
you
DJ.
And I, right? At the end of the day, to be able to take home a company's brand that they may become a user of. Now, keep in mind, everybody, I know you know this, Chris, obviously, but for our audience that are listening to this, when you participate in one of these events and your brand goes into the human longevity box or bag, whatever we're using at that particular event for different reasons, what happens is that person on the other end gets to try your brand and might become a customer. Now, how many of these people, like Steve Aoki, for example, have tremendous followings of other people?
80 million across all social platforms.
Perfect example. You're wearing the brand of our friend Phil's company. Okay. Phil is Lila Q, and we just interviewed his right-hand guy, Todd Shipman, here a few minutes ago. Okay. You're wearing his brand. People look at this and they might not be listening to a word I'm saying or that you're saying, but they go, what is that Chris is wearing? What are the benefits? And all of a sudden, they become a customer of that brand. You don't know them, they don't know you, but at the end of the day, they became that company's customer. So be it that you're in network marketing, like I've been for 43 years, be it that you're in any other walk of life marketing, anything like, Phil's company, for example, okay, or others that'll be in the bag tonight that we're handing out, okay, that customer becomes that company's customer.
Well, let's be honest about something. It's impossible to mail these people anything because you'll never get their address.
No.
It's impossible to connect with these people so you can get them your product. So for the fact that somebody is able to give them a bag of your product and let them go home with it, that's almost a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a company that might be up and coming or a company that's established.
Exactly.
There's companies out there right now that are so established, been around for years, do $300 million in revenue, and they would love to hitch their product to a celebrity that has a large audience that they can talk to.
And I've seen, because most of what I've done through the years is health and nutrition oriented, I've seen high-valued individuals get product samples from somebody in a particular company. And all of a sudden, you couldn't buy this person's reputation to market your product, but they or a family member has a result on that given product. And all of a sudden that person says, hey, by the way, I use this product or that product. We were talking about athletic performance for a few minutes ago. Okay. You have a product that helps an athlete, especially an elite athlete, because elite athletes, it's such a minimal differential. Okay, be it a speed event, be it a strength event, right? Everybody's strong, everybody's fast when you get to the Olympics or the NBA or the NHL or whatever. All of a sudden, this athlete does a little bit better than his competitor. What are you using? Okay, that's the type of thing that happens as one of many examples when you put product in people's hands that they actually try of your particular product. That's why people should be in these bags as we go forward. Okay, we got the Super Bowl event coming up, for example, in February.
Wait a second. Whoa. I understand you're going to be going to the Super Bowl just so you can hang out with Tom Brady. Is that correct?
Well, I haven't gotten in touch with Tom yet. I keep calling him, and
Tom, you got to call John.
Tom's supposed to call.
Text John.
Tom, where you been, man? Yeah, who knows? Hey, you never know. The Raiders, I think he owns part of them, right?
I think he owns. I think,
who knows? They're looking pretty good. You never know. They might be there.
Might be a bigger.
I'm hoping the Giants are there. You're hoping the Bears are there. I think we're all dreaming.
The Bears are never going to be
at
there.
the end of the day. Well,
By the way, McCaskey, sell the Chicago Bears. Sell the team. Put us out of our misery. Sell the team.
Anyway, all that aside, who is or isn't there doesn't really matter, because guess what? Here's what I figured out last year. The Super Bowl is a reason to market. It happens to be tied into a football game ultimately on Sunday afternoon. Most of the people have gone home by then, frankly. Okay, the marketing people. It's a marketing opportunity all week.
That week is the biggest networking opportunity for brands and athletes and celebrities and influencers like you've never seen before. In fact, this year, it's going to be in San Jose. And for no other reason, that is going to drive so much brand engagement, especially since it's February, the beginning of February of the year. Brands and companies want to get off to a good sales start. Exactly. So they use the Super Bowl as a huge selling platform to take off their year.
Well, you think about it, it's the perfect launch pad. You got a huge audience. You got an audience that has money because, frankly, to go there is not inexpensive, right? So if you're there going to the Super Bowl, or you're participating in some of the events that you and I will be participating in or that you've done in the past, okay, these people spend money. They're looking to spend money. They're looking to be sold. But they're not looking to be sold junk. They're looking to be sold good, efficacious products, okay, that they see value.
Shout out to Webster's efficacious.
Evidence-based, okay? So, once again, whether you're in network marketing, like I am, whether you're in any other business, if you got a brand, you want to be represented at the Super Bowl, frankly.
Well, you want to be at the right place at the right time with the right people so you can make those valuable connections. It's all about connecting. We had breakfast this morning. It's about having a normal conversation, getting to know people. You're not always trying to sell somebody. You're trying to connect with them.
And, one of the words that I've picked up in the last couple of years with doing so many podcasts, frankly, and using AI to, meet so many people, because I use AI.
Shout out to AI or Die.
And having done that, is the word engagement has become vital for me. I have engagement with people literally all over the world as a result of using AI and podcasts to interview people and have people interview me likewise, because I've got a story. I've had some success in my life, right? So people interview me, then I interview them, and all of a sudden what happens? We've engaged. I go through my cell phone now. I have hundreds of telephone numbers. Just this morning, for example, I texted two friends of mine, one who's with eXp Real Estate and the other who's with Legal Shield. And I said, you guys ought to interview each other. Why? They're both podcasters. Okay. I said, you need to know each other. Why? You carry similar businesses and, blah, blah, blah. And I just thought these two guys need to know each other. I do that on a daily basis, where I actually introduce high-valued individuals to other high-valued individuals, be it for podcasting or for business purposes. You do the same thing, right? We think about how many business deals have happened because this person heard one of our shows and said, hey, I need to meet so-and-so. Like, for example, we have a friend in the red light therapy field. Okay, I introduced him to a gentleman in Texas. Okay, whether they're going to do business or not, that's up to them. But at the end of the day, the one guy contacted me and said, could you put me in contact with this other guy? And I did. Okay, business happens. I don't know. They'll probably send me a Christmas card or something. I don't know. At the end of the day,
life is about leveling up, and your connections help you level up in business, health, wealth, any type of level up that you're trying to do. It's all about connecting with the right people.
That's right. And I go back to that word engagement, though, Chris, all the time. It's engagement, getting to know new people, right? And who you touch. All right. There was a book I read about 40 years ago when I first got in the profession of selling. And it was by a gentleman named Joe Girard. I don't know if you remember Joe Girard or not. Guinness Book of World Records, top automobile salesman in the world. I think Joe's deceased now, but Joe was a great salesman. And he wrote a book, and now I'm going to forget the name of the book, but I want to say it's How to Sell Anything to Anybody. I might be wrong on that, but you can Google his name, Joe Girard. And Joe had in there that every person he sold an automobile to, if he treated them right, they could tell up to 250 other human beings. Now, this is pre-internet. This is pre all the stuff we have as tools today. But Joe used this example that every guy or gal or couple that he sold a car to, if he treated them right, you know, so the headlight all of a sudden doesn't work when they pull down the street, they bring the car back. He doesn't pretend he doesn't know them. He brings them right over to service and gets it fixed, right? Treats them right. That they could potentially tell 250 other human beings. But he did a little research. He went one step further. He went to Protestant, Catholic, Jewish, and Mormon funeral homes and wedding halls. And he said to the directors in either of those professions, how many people on average signed a guest remembrance book, right? You go to a funeral or a wedding, you always sign the book, right? And to a man or a woman that he asked that question, about 250 other people. So when I do a podcast, when I meet somebody, I know that they potentially could introduce me to a minimum of 250 other people. Now, Joe did that before Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all these other technologies existed. Today, that might be 2,500 people. It might be 25,000 people. So when you engage properly at these events and you get your product out there, you don't know what that person on the other end is going to get excited about your product and say, hey, let me just tell you about this product. Not because they want to even make money from it necessarily, but because they feel strongly that the product aided them in some way, that they feel strongly about your product. And all of a sudden, their whole social media world says, well, if XYZ person thinks it's a good product, maybe I should try it. That's the amazing value of what we're presenting here.
He's John Soliter. I'm Chris Champion. We're live at the Steve Aoki Foundation Gala. We'll keep talking to you all night long. Peace out.